Mr. Lyons is always more than happy to go out of his way for anybody. He strives to make the world a better place in any way that he can every day of his life. And he has inspired myself and countless others to do the same. Without further ado, Senor Lyons.
That's all I get? Golf claps? Come on! I can't hear you. Did you ever want to do something crazy? After reading Into the Wild, did you think that you were going to write the sequel? But this time it would include coconuts and surfing lessons on the beaches of Brazil. It definitely sounds better than cold moose burgers and on a broken old bus. Who among you have taken a journey that have challenged you to the very core of who you are? Which one of you in front of me right now has explored the Amazon, climbed a mountain in the Himalayas, scuba dived in the Great Barrier Reef, been to the Great Wall of China, been a bike messenger in San Francisco, hitchhiked and camped on the beaches of Mexico, gone to Burning Man, hunted tigers with your bare hands in India, surfed Mavericks, run with the bulls, traveled in space, danced at Jazz Fest in New Orleans, marveled at sunrise at Machu Picchu, drank wine on the Spanish Steps in Rome, walked the Appalachian Trail, partied all night in Ibiza, or swam at a nude beach. It doesn't count if you haven't seen at least a couple of fat, hairy old guys. By the way, none of it counts if you saw it on Twitter or Instagram. Get the point? This world is truly yours for the taking. But at your age, you are facing two very distinct paths. From your perspective, you're going to be choosing one of these two paths. One of these paths is the path straight to college in 2 months. For a great majority of you, it will be a repeat of another 4 years, where you can finally master the subtle art of doing what you are told and fulfilling more requirements. And let's be honest, a good many of you are not going to college because you are ready to throw your passions into what you love to learn, but because everyone you know has told you that logically you have to do this next. After 4 or 5 more years, you will finally be spit out of the world of education and land in the real world. We're at 22 or 23. Yes, 22 or 23 is supposedly when at this ripe old age of wisdom and experience, you'll be now ready to spend the next 30 or 40 years of the 76 to 78 years you have on this planet doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over until you are gray and broken down. And all that's left is to move to Florida, buy white shoes, wear pastel-colored tracksuits, and complain about those kids today. Or maybe you can choose another path, your own path. When you start down this path, you can't see everything from start to finish. There is actual mystery in what is going to happen. Now you can start to take some risks in life and not already know the results. Challenge yourself in ways that you never believed possible. Embrace the fear of the unknown and have the strength to overcome those fears or doubts about who you are or where you are going. I am telling you right now that you can do anything you want. What are you waiting for? To complete this or complete that? Maybe with the same indifference you started to show at this place by the end. Will there be a day in your life when you finally have enough money or stuff? Life is short, shorter than you think. And with the constant distractions and the giant bear trap we've called materialism, you too could become Joe Office Drone in the middle cubicle. I see by some of your confused faces, or even horrified faces, or the usual blank faces, that this kind of routine, boring life does not seem to be the one you were imagining for yourselves. What can you do to avoid this fate? This sad destiny, you might ask. How about this? Maybe it's time to stop listening to everybody's advice around you and their strange belief that they know what's best for you or your happiness. And now it's time to start listening to yourself. Just follow your own advice. That is the best advice that you could ever listen to. Just listen to yourself. You know yourself better than anyone. And when your advice tells you that you don't have to be in a constant rat race, every day worshiping money and creating a castle so stuffed with junk that would warm a hoarder's heart. Sorry, that's like a tongue twister. Our lives, our houses, the garage, our yard, they are overflowing with worthless junk that most of our houses could hang a sign in front that says home to Mini Sam's Club. Most of it's a bunch of plastic junk that nobody uses and nobody needs. Don't be afraid of this advice. Don't be afraid of this. Sometimes this advice maybe causes you to fall flat on your face. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is what makes us human beings. And great human beings, when we get back up, dust ourselves off, and jump back on the horse with more spirit and determination than ever. Do you really think you can reach your fullest potential if you play it safe your whole life? To never once face a challenge. To not know the feeling of overcoming some hardship. And I mean real hardship. You know, like flushing your phone down the toilet and having to wait 24 hours till your parents buy you a new one. You are not some fragile porcelain vase. You are not made to just sit this one out. You are made from the same stuff responsible for the endless line of adventurers, explorers, inventors, travelers, and all the other crazy, amazing humans that have come before you, and that are even sitting among you now. Does anyone really think they need a house with 9 bedrooms and 11 bathrooms? Can the name on your car really give you the impression that you're better than others? Is 1 billion going to be enough? What about living in a simple treehouse in the middle of the jungle? Or a little cabin in the woods where you grow your own food? Or a sweet beach bungalow right on the beach? A little slice of heaven that guarantees that you will be there for the first surf of the day. I don't think that anyone I'm looking at wants to wake up to realize that their closest companion happens to be their car, as they dutifully spend hours in a day, glued or stuffed into the front seat, fighting from the driveway to the highway, a sea of other people who also spend hours of quality time in their cars as well. Luckily, you will be allowed to travel with your trusty companion and sidekick, your phone. I bet that many of you didn't even realize that a phone is not, I repeat, it is not a part of your body. Except if you technically want to call it part of your lobotomized brain. If you guys are able to take away just one idea from this brilliantly written and articulated speech, it's that you need to know that it is okay, in fact, a great idea, to realize that you can stop doing what you have to do all the time and start doing more of what you want to do. It's that simple. It comes down to have to versus want to. Don't get confused by the word want. Want isn't a word that should encourage a greedy, aggressive, selfish quest for the Duck Dynasty version of the American dream. But instead, want can mean a life where what you want or what you want to do can lead to a distinct and meaningful American dream. A dream that doesn't always include you, yourself, and you first. This new American dream could be when your efforts and hard work allow a village to finally have drinking water. Where your dream includes being a loving, dedicated teacher in a mission school in some sad and overwhelmed part of the world. A dream that shows how your kindness and caring has done something as simple as brought a smile to people's faces. A dream that draws you to work with the poor down and out. A dream where you shared everything with everyone. A dream where your life has been filled with true happiness. A dream that life makes you excited to get out of bed in the morning. These are the things that can allow you to create your own version of the American dream. I really pity those that don't see the endless drive for money and more junk for what it really is. It's called the American nightmare. I beg of you to not let these distractions just haunt your dreams, twisting them into some horrifying portrait of Dorian Gray. Right here and right now, you can make a promise to yourselves that your pursuits in life will be noble, that honesty and integrity aren't just good buzzwords around the water cooler, but they actually impact and influence your life. And never, ever forget, the only true goal in this life for all human beings is to really feel genuine happiness, peace, and love in your hearts. And no, your heart doesn't understand numbers or bank accounts. I hope that everyone here today, not just the graduates, but everyone here today, can feel at least once in their lives the chills. Yes, those chills of excitement and energy when you are finally able to do what it is that you really love to do. Don't ever let anyone tell you that your passion or what you love to do in this world isn't going to pay enough, or isn't practical, or God forbid, it's not for a grade or an application. Life isn't always about being the most practical. Sometimes life needs that we need to understand the practically endless things in our world that we could experience. Play instruments for the love of playing. Learn to salsa. Knit your own socks. Paint your emotions onto a canvas. Ride your bike across Argentina. Whatever it is, walk away today with the guts and the confidence to gently remind all the well-meaning handlers in your life that until now have controlled most of your life, that it is time to step aside and get out of your way. Because in this life, there should be no one that is going to stand in the way of you becoming the most complete human being that you can possibly be. Now get out there in this great world and start living, and truly be alive.